Hope you are all doing well. It's a bit dull today, isn't it? Oh no, sun's just come out. Bit hit and miss. Just waiting for the numbers to come up. And then we'll start the video. Just a few more seconds. I think, what time are we? Oh, past. Just a few more seconds.
Let's give it another minute, Elaine, just to give people time to get on, because it is only past.
Okie dokie. You can look at my pictures. I'm a very messy studio. I really need to give it a tidy. Julia and I were just talking about doing an hour one while we're waiting, doing a drawing for half an hour so people can join for that, and then say doing the second half an hour to be like more of a detail, so do the like shading and tone and stuff like that, so people then can either just do the drawing or they could do the second part. But she will put that on the events. So I think that's stabilized now. Any questions, let us know if it's not working, and speak to you soon. Right, we are back next for our next story. So piece of paper, pencil, and ready. So we're going to start in, so this is the bottom of my piece of paper, about kind of a third way up. I'm just going to press a bit harder. You remember to keep it nice and light in case you need to change anything. And it's a dome shape. And then just a lighter kind of line there, because we're going to add some other stuff on. And we're going to build this one out like a jigsaw puzzle. We're going to come to this point over here, and we're going to do a line there. We're going to come to the middle, and we're going to do a line there. And we're going to come over this side. We're going to do a line coming out that way. And we're going to come here. We're going to do a line coming out there. One over here. That way. Now we're going to come to the bottom, and at this point we're going to draw a line, curve, kind of curved shape there. Looks weird, doesn't it? Then we're going to do a diagonal, so touching there, we're going to do a diagonal line that curves about there. Move my book. This line is going to carry on, and it's going to curve right. Then it's going to curve up straight. Then it's going to go at a little angle over here. Like that, like a little notch in it. Then we're going to come down at a slight angle. It's practically straight, but a slight angle. And we're going to curve down here to about there so far. Now we're just going to do another line. Before I get here, I want to come back to here. So I'm coming to that curved line we had there. I'm going to come down the page. We're going to come up. And we're going to come over this way. We're going over. Now I'm looking, see this point before you finish the line. We're coming over, I don't know, about 1.5 centimeters or an inch. That probably doesn't make sense. My measurements aren't very good. We're about that shape. I bet you don't know what it is yet. So this line is going to curve up and down, and then going to go this direction. And this is going to go back that way. Now we're going to come back to this curve here. We're going to come down, round, and we've kind of got 2 bits. So it goes down, round, and it joins with here. And this one then joins with here. We're then going to do, this will probably give it away. I'm looking at where this point is. I'm coming across, and I'm doing a slightly diagonal, not straight, line down. And another one kind of there. Now we're going to come over this way with a slight arch here. I'm going to come about 1 centimeter past there. We're going to curve that way and then up that way. Now coming back over here, so we're building it like a jigsaw puzzle. Actually, it's a little bit more like that, but it doesn't matter. That curves round. It's like 2 parts. This bit's tricky. So it comes up, down. Then there's 2 lines here. So this one comes down and joins here. And then this one comes down and joins like in a curve there. And then that line carries on up. No, that might be a bit far out. I'm going to come back to here. Right, we're going to come to about there. And we're coming curved there. So this is kind of my starting point. It goes up, it goes left, goes up, left, up. And then this side, if I show you the full shape, this curves around, kind of like that. Then there's a kind of little line in there. It looks like an egg yolk. Right, we're going to come back here now. We're curving to the right, up here, And then we're going to go left. Just a bit like that. Now, there's a definite kind of diagonal when we draw this bit. So we're coming down, round, kind of straight-ish. Down, round, actually join up. There. You might know what it is now. Now, from this point, let's come, so from this point, we're going to come, there's about halfway, and we haven't really talked about pressure of line drawing yet, which we will do. But this is kind of a lighter pressure. I have to do it all really hard. But it is important in, if I show you on this bit of, you can make your drawings more interesting by lifting the pressure off. So some bits are kind of darker. I'll show you there, some bits are lighter. Just make the drawing a little bit more interesting. That line curves there. Hopefully caught up. Now we have a shape that comes over here. So this comes round and up and curves this way. Let me show you that again. So it curves slightly down, then goes up to like a point, then curves round, and then back in again. Very organic shapes. That then comes out. Now I'm looking at where, so this is my starting, I'm looking at where my finishing point is about here. So if we had that curve about there, so it's curving round here, and then hopefully they're going to join up. This goes to a point, then this comes diagonally down to join that. Now let's come back up to here. So in this middle one, 1, 2, 3, number 2, you're going to curve slightly in this way to about the same distance there, and then we're going to curve back. And then we're going to do the same with this line next to it. I find it difficult drawing that way. Feel free to move your arm around where it feels comfortable. So this line is coming up and round. It then it kind of curves to this dramatic point, and then it curves kind of that way and then down. Just wait for you to catch up. Just make sure you've got all these different shapes. Now we're going to come back to this kind of section here. We've got a bit that joins this bit and this bit. So we curve this way. Make a little line to join it. Then there's a bit of a gap. And that joins, kind of dips down, and then from this point, you've done that bit. There's a curve that goes this way and then joins here. And there's a lovely bit where it's curled over. And a nice curved bit there. Now on this side, we're coming back up to this wiggly worm bit, and we're going to come out this way and around and down. So I know I'm going to be going that way. On this, there's a little gap between this one and this one. We'll just do a little line there. So you can have that bit and that bit. And then you're going to come out. Now this line doesn't join up with anything. Just curves like that. And then this one comes across, kind of up, sorry. And then that joins up with that line there. So that's all of that bit done drawn there. We've just got a little bit up here. So there is this middle line. And that curves over this way. A little bit. Like that. And then I'm coming back, so I'm feeling my way around. I'm just going to check something. You can see, right. This curves up here. So we're looking to join these, but in an interesting way. So from this point, so this is our kind of, that's probably more curved if you're doing it in pencil, but in pen, don't worry about it, it's good enough. So we're coming up there, we're coming down slightly and then out, makes it more interesting. And then we're joining up here. And then we are going to come up here. So that's going to be this extra shape here. That's my kind of starting point. So I find out where that point is. Down here, this is kind of fundamentals of drawing. So I'm coming down this shape to about here. That's my finishing point. Now this bit's a bit easier. So this is a shorter line here. I'll just make sure we wait for you to get those bits. So all drawing is angles and shapes and how they relate to each other, how this shape relates to this, where this point starts. So we're coming up here, then we're going up a little bit, diagonally a little bit. We're coming up to like a shape like a mountain. So maybe that's a bit longer and it goes up. Now and it dips and curves back down. But then it goes back up a bit and makes it a little bit more interesting. And then joins up with that. So let's have a look now at some different shapes. We're going to put a little bit of detail in. I'm not sure how, with half an hour, how much we're going to get in, but let's come back to this section. So you can't see the picture, but this is like a seed head, or I don't know what the exact terms are. So I'm going to do a few shapes. We've got two dark shapes, some little lines here. These are kind of oval shapes. There are hundreds of them, so we're not going to draw them all, but we're going to give an impression. So we're going to make this a little bit more interesting. So not such kind of like a cutout edge. And we're going to have some of these oval shapes that are heading in different directions that are going to come over the top. Sometimes when something's quite complicated, so say where you have a lot of people or a lot of shapes like this, I just focus on picking out the ones that I like. So my brain doesn't get completely confused by all the complicated shapes. So if you start with these ones, and they're kind of working their way around the edge of this dome. And we're going to leave those as light coloured, and we're going to come in and do some shading. So I'm pressing harder with my pencil, little movements, and I'm doing the gaps in between them. So filling in the gaps, leaving them hopefully. These nice light shapes. Now, this shading, there is a light section here. So over here is shaded in, but not as dark as this. So around the edges is actually darker. So it's kind of a flat dome, I would describe it. It's darker on this side. Try and leave a few of them. I've covered them all. And if you did the apple, I'm doing little contour lines that kind of show. So at the front, it goes straight up. As I work my way round, it starts going in. And that starts, a few of these lines start kind of defining it. Now, I also don't want this kind of bright, so this is slightly lighter, this bright kind of thing, light shape. So I'm going to do some light contour lines that will just kind of break that up so you can see it's like a shine on it, but not just a big solid shape. Okay, just wait for you to catch up. Hopefully you can see that. So we're dark, mid, light with some mid coming in. So now we're going to come over and we're going to do some more of these. And they don't make them too kind of the same. So some are light. There's only a few really dark ones, I think. And they're not all neat. They overlap each other. So you can get creative in your mark making. Some are going that way, some are going that way. And then we have some kind of little lines that join them up. So that way, another one overlapping. Maybe some darker ones underneath that. Now we've got some bigger ones over here. So as things are closer to you, generally you see more detail. more contrast in light and dark. Got some lines that come over. Some bigger ones down here. I can have it say the name of this flower. An enemy. An enemy. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's just put in, I think we are running out of time. Yeah, let's just put in a few lines. So I'm going to use, my arm is already practicing moving. So it's not my hand moving or my wrist, it's my arm. And then I am just going to gently do some curves that follow this pattern, just a few. Yeah. So this one on this side. So the reason that I kind of do this movement is you'll often get like a gentler, more of a tickling look. See, I missed the page sometimes, rather than a kind of solid outlook, but I'm looking at what direction these are going. So these ones are all, and you don't need to put a lot. We won't have time to shade all the flower, but just a few of these like nice light lines will start to give a bit of a form. So as we come over this way, this one actually, the form on this one curves like this. So again, I don't want a rigid line, and then there's a curve there. So the curve that way, curve there. And as we get to here, there's a dark bit here, these curve that way. There. Now this petal, this is coming this way. So my lines are going to show that form. Just on this side, this is all really light here. Just maybe a few, not too much up here. These ones going that way. Can't really see them, I've done them quite light. Can you see that? Sorry, I just clucked, I got hay fever today. This way. There. Now, these ones come underneath. Here. Here. So this petal's curving round. So these few lines will show that, and then it kind of goes off around there. This one is here. This one is curving back on itself like a wave. So just a few. Like that. This, we've got a couple of kind of straighter ones. This petal comes out this way, so these ones come. See, that's too hard. And this one, and it goes that way. And so did that one. And these ones come round this way. This is all actually dark in there. You can put a few bits in there. And these ones are going this way. That's a few that way. Maybe a few more darker bits in here. If we had longer, we could shade it all in, but all of this drawing practice is good. So this is just, how long have I got? Probably about 30 seconds. let me just show you. So there are a few darker bits on here that actually in your drawing, if you accentuated, so without even doing a lot of shading, can you see I can just describe where the darker bits down here are? Just a little bit in here. So I'm just exaggerating the edges of some of these, and even just a little bit of that can give a bit more form to your line drawing. A little bit on that edge, a little bit here. A little bit on this edge. So can you see these points over here or under here? This is all shadowed, especially at the bottom of things that can often give it weight. I'm just doing a few little lines, still thinking of my contour lines. And then on the stem, so on this left-hand side and underneath, if we shaded that, a few lines down, show the texture. And then we have a nice drawing. I'm not going to try and say it again, of a flower. I will just give you a few minutes. What time are we on? There we go. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye.